This show is proudly sponsored by TraderCobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to TraderCobb.com where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
G'day everybody, welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. Very interesting day, very interesting indeed. I got a short yesterday on Bitcoin. Pretty much just wrapping up, following through just short of a 10,000, very similar to the one we saw off at 11,000 earlier in the week, for which I was at an event, so I didn't get to short that one. This one was a stop out. And the interesting thing is just how Bitcoin's moved. Of course, it is now very erratic, and it is a pair that I'm looking to stay away from just for a little while. Keep an eye on it, and just see what it does next. Now, what do I do in these times of erratic behavior? I tend to step out to the higher time frames to get my direction. So the daily, look, it's pulled back into just about 9,000. It got very close to my first port of call of 9,000 and 8.8, right? If I look at the weekly time frame and talk to that for you, we've got a bullish candle in the cradles and it has had its pullback. How far has it pulled back? Well, let's just have a look at this right now. It got back 33.83%. Look, it's not the average of 35.25 that we saw way back in 2017, but it's a substantial pullback. And it's a pullback that looks strong. We may not see anything lower here on Bitcoin. And it wouldn't surprise me if we did close like this, break the high, and continue to move on, breaking the 2019 highs, and then on to potentially all-time highs in the coming couple of months. So I'm very interested to see what it does today, given the fact that that spike did occur very, very quickly. Bitcoin's at 10,634, back above the 10 grand mark, obviously. It's up 9.83% and a very, very strong day on Bitcoin. There is no doubt about that. It's kind of changed the tone in that one day from this downtrend and putting that weekly now back into a nice bullish candle there in that cradle zone. So as I say, I am going to be sitting on the sidelines and watching what goes on. On Ethereum now, we're up 7.69%, sitting at $227. Ethereum is still very much in a downtrend on this daily time frame, and it does look to me, we all know that all the rising tide, what do they say, lifts all ships, or I think I've got that saying wrong. But if Bitcoin's to go up, Ethereum's probably going to creep with it. It's definitely not been performing at the same rate as what Bitcoin has been. But it has been following along. That's why we see Ethereum Bitcoin chart diving quite heavily. No interest around any trading opportunities here. I'm well and truly staying out of that right now. EOS is back above $4 at $4.12. It's up 7.5% today. Again, another good day there, or sorry, a good day there, but still very much in a strong downtrend. Again, I'm happy to sit out of that and just wait and see what the market does. Stellar Lumen's up 10%, a big spike. Again, it shot up and shot back down at one stage. It looks like, to the eye, would have been maybe 20% up. It's up 9.9%, just hanging in there with Bitcoin at the moment. XRP is playing a game of its own. It's held that support at 28 cents and or 28.5 cents, and it's up today, but only 3.33% at 32 cents. 32.1 cents. Sorry, still is at 8.8. I forgot to mention that. Litecoin, another really strong day on Litecoin. On the daily chart, we've had two very big days. As a matter of fact, we've seen 26% upside in the last 2 days on Litecoin, and it does look it has had a strong move. And as far as the weekly goes, let me just pull that up for us. I'll talk to the weekly. The weekly time frame, it's pulled back into that cradle zone. It's gone actually deeper than the cradle, but it is, it's got a big bullish candle. I'm really keen to see how these weekly candles close and what comes in next week as far as do we break the upside there or do we continue to struggle. That's what's my that is what is of interest to me at the moment, and that's what I'm sticking with. Bitcoin Cash, it's at $315. Now there is resistance there at 335. There's a little bit of support, old resistance there, and support we've broken down through there, and we're reapproaching that level. We're at 315.75, up 8.17%. Binance also $29.11. It's up 5.37%. Not really much going on there from my point of view. It did have a solid bounce off of $24 flat, and we are holding. Tron, another big day. So in the last 2 days, like very much the same as Litecoin, 9% yesterday, and today we're at 13%. So we have seen quite a resurgence there in Tron. It's a pretty average looking chart, if I'm honest. The downtrend was really nice. Now we've got on this daily a bit of a cluster of nothingness. Sure, there's a lower high and a lower low, but the bigger picture is that we are kind of in a bit of a consolidation. So another one I'm happy to just sit back and watch. Cardano, of course, another one that's been in a very strong downtrend, had a nice resurgence today, up 7%, sitting at 5.8 cents, one I'm willing more than happily to leave alone. So across the top 10, we have seen some strong gains. Bitcoin's dominance is sitting at, I think, 65.8%. Very high. One of the highest this year, if not the highest this year. Now, from my point of view, as I say, I will repeat myself again. I'm willing to wait now. I'll probably take the weekend out from the markets unless something does happen that brings me back, and just wait and see how these weekly candles close, because for me, I believe that is the key, as we have seen a 33% pullback. And if we break the high, well, depending on how that weekly closes, if we break the high of that weekly early next week, then we could see a continuation to further upside, breaking to new 2019 highs. I don't see there being as high probability of a consolidation, just backed off the fact that in 2017, each time a weekly did break to the upside, we did see some very strong runs. That being said, this is 2019, so we need to be aware and ready for all scenarios. Now, guys, I'm looking forward to meeting those of you who have already paid to come along for next weekend's 2-day course. I'm really, really excited about it, actually. It's going to be a big, big weekend. Can't wait. If you haven't got your spot, we've only got a couple left, so get in there, get involved. Brisbane is the one to follow after that, and then Melbourne after that. Spots are filling very, very fast, and I'll tell you this, if the market does continue to bounce like it has at the moment, they're going to fill very, very quickly. So get across to the website. If you are in another part of the world, don't worry about it. Get on and get the online version of the courses right away. We are adding some bits and pieces in there for your resource center. And when we do come to your city, guess what we're going to do? You come along for pretty much nothing. It's very, very cheap to come along if you're already a member. So don't hold back. Get involved. Have a great weekend. I'll speak to you again next week, guys. Bye for now. This show is proudly sponsored by TraderCobb.com, the leaders in checklist-based trading strategy. Yes, that's exactly how it sounds. I'll teach you a literal checklist so you can tick off items and be decisive very quickly. Get across to TraderCobb.com, where there's a bunch of free content there for you to have a look at. And of course, if you're interested in having me come to your city, click and register for the live events coming up and filling fast. Have a great day. Visit TraderCobb.com now.